Hello and welcome to VR Reviews. Today we'll be reviewing the Dragon Ball Z Figuarts Broly. So yes, here we have the latest in the Figuarts model kit series that they're doing for the Dragon Ball stuff, and it's Broly. And of course it is because I get all the Brolys, or at least a large portion of the ones that I see. And I'm already familiar with the Figuarts stuff anyway. And he is really cool. Certainly something worth getting if you're a fan of Broly. And he works with Figuarts if you weren't able to get the Figuarts Broly, as he is kind of expensive now. Anyway, let's go ahead and zoom in for the sculpt, paint, details, all those sorts of things.
Alright, starting off with a quick size comparison. Of course, here we have Broly. Here's our standard Marvel Legends 6-inch Cosmic Armor Iron Man and 3 3/4-inch Marvel Universe Wolverine. As you would expect, Broly is quite tall, noticeably bigger than a standard 6-inch figure and much bigger than a 3 3/4-inch figure. And here he is compared to the S.H.Figuarts Broly. Figuarts Broly is a bit bigger, bulkier, a little bit taller, but they're close enough to the same size, so he does scale with Figuarts just as well as the S.H.F one does, and he is a reasonable substitute if you can't afford the Figuarts one. Now let's go ahead and get everything else out of here and just look at the Figuarts Broly. Alright, moving on to our 360 spin. As you would expect, Broly's got the standard Broly stuff going on. Big, muscular upper body, and he's got his necklace on. The actual string part of it is gold, and it should be brown or something, but they didn't come with a sticker for it, and it's not a separate piece or anything. So that needs to be painted, or it's going to look a bit weird. He's got his gold bracers with the blue gems. Big red skirt kilt type thing with the gold belt and the gem in it. Big poofy white pants. And he's got his gold boots with the gems in them and the little red leather sort of stuff in between the plates down there at the bottom. All in all, everything looks pretty good. Standard Figuarts model sort of quality. You can see gaps in the hinges and stuff, but for the most part, it looks pretty good, and there's nothing massive to complain about. Obviously, it would benefit from some paint or something, but, you know, I'm not going to do that. So let's go ahead and zoom in on his head sculpt. Head sculpt-wise, Broly looks like Broly. He does have his big hair, and it is a sort of slightly greenish yellow kind of color, and it's shiny. It does have a lot of seams in it because it is made up of a lot of different pieces. And he comes with two different faces, just a standard sort of smirking face. And he's got his big open screaming face. And he does have the earrings sculpted on the side of his head, but they are essentially just little round flesh circles, because they're not painted or separate pieces or anything, so I am actually going to paint those. They come with stickers, but the stickers look like shit, so I'm not going to use those. I'm probably going to use a pen vise and drill a little hole in them and paint them gold so they actually look like earrings. But I haven't done that yet, so keep that in mind if you want him to have earrings instead of flesh discs. Now let's go ahead and zoom out and look at some articulation. Articulation-wise, you get pretty standard Figuarts sort of articulation, which is comparable to other import kind of stuff, so it's pretty good. Ball pegs in the head and neck, so you get a pretty good bit of motion there, forward and back, side to side, all that kind of stuff. All joint shoulders go in and out, forward and back. He's got big butterfly joints that go forward and back. Bicep cut, double jointed elbows. Ball pegs in the wrist move around. He's got a big abdominal joint that moves really well. He's got a waist cut below that. Each piece of his skirt moves around on little ball pegs, so you can move those out of the way so you can get his legs moving around. Hips go in and out, and forward and back. Rotate around on the joint. Big double jointed knees. And he's got ball pegs in the ankles, so you can get some hinging and pivoting sort of action there. So you should be able to get him into most poses that you would expect, although he is a bulky figure, so that limits him a little bit. Either way, it should be good enough. Now let's go ahead and move on to some accessories. Accessories-wise, you don't really get a lot with Broly. You get two sets of hands, you get one set of fist hands, and one set of open grabbing or blasting sort of hands. And then you get two alternate faces for figures that I don't have. You get an in-pain face for Goku and for Vegeta. They look fine, but I don't have those figures, and I don't want those figures, so I have practically no use for them. But, I mean, if you do collect, like, all the Figuarts stuff, could be useful, I suppose. And lastly, you do get this little blue thing that plugs into his butt, which would be used to attach him to a Figuarts stand, which he does not come with, but if you do already have one, it'll work for that. Now that wraps it up for Broly and all of his accessories, so let's move on to the packaging. Packaging-wise, you just get your standard Figuarts box, which is just a big windowless box. It's got a nice picture of Broly on the front of it, though, and some pictures of the actual model itself. Figuarts and Bandai logos and all that sort of stuff. Legendary Super Saiyan Broly and some Japanese stuff, which probably says similar things. And then on the top side is where you get the information for the figure, which is printed in Japanese and in English, so that's useful if you want to read that. Pictures of the figure and pictures of all the other Figuarts models that are available at the moment, I believe, which I only have Kid Buu, but I have reviewed him, so if you like Kid Buu, you can go watch that. As usual, these are not good for in-package display, because they're models, obviously, but, you know, it's a nice looking box if you're into boxes. So, yeah, Broly.
Alright, that wraps it up for Broly. So until next time, goodbye!
Thanks for watching one of my videos. If you enjoyed it, feel free to like the video or subscribe if you would like to see my future content. If not, run away. Run away and never return. Also, feel free to support me on Patreon at patreon.com/vrreviews. Follow me on Twitter at VenomRaptor09, or follow me on Instagram at instagram.com/vrreviews. Thank you, and goodbye.